Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Masters of the Universe Tuesday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the Masters of the Universe Masterverse New Eternia Mer-Man. Let's get into it! Let's start things off with a look at the packaging. And here on the top flap, we've got, or on the top, 30 points of articulation, 6-and-up Mattel, and a hook, whoop, right there. On the top flap, Masterverse, and that rocky 1980s explosion. It just takes you right on back to Super Nostalgiaville, and that's awesome. Little window here, like a quarter panel maybe, of a window showcasing some of the figure and accessories. Then here we've got some nice big artwork of Mer-Man underwater doing underwater stuff, and it wraps around to this side, and he's still under there with some sea critters, and there's, you know, Manny faces and Beastman facing off, so we've already got those dudes. And then on this side we've got some more nice artwork of Mer-Man, and then on this flap right here it says Mer-Man. At the bottom, Masters of the Universe New Eternia. On the very bottom, or the bottom flap, small print, fine print, legalese print, made in Vietnam print, symbols I'm not going to learn, MattelShop.com print, a question mark, one figure accessories, assortment number, and a barcode. Then on the very back, some nice, what I'm guessing is practical photography. It really looks very much like practical photography, showcasing Mer-Man and then some of his features here. And then we have some more artwork of Mer-Man right there. Ocean Warlord. With New Eternia shattered into thousands of islands, Mer-Man terrorizes everyone foolish enough to travel the oceans in search of Castle Grayskull. Also available, each sold separately, subject to availability. Colors and decorations may vary in there, referring here to the cross sale, which is Man of War, Sorceress Tila, Mer-Man this figure, and Battle Armor Skeletor. Mattel empowering generations through play. Yeah, I kind of like that one better. Well, let's take a look at the figure and his accessories. And first up, let's take a look at his accessories. And first up, we've got this spear, which it kind of looks organic, or maybe it's made out of bones, but some kind of sea bones because of the coloration of them. And then we have this piece of seaweed or whatever this might be wrapped on here, and it's made out of a translucent plastic. And then the rest of the spear is made out of this goldy green color. And it does have some nice molded details throughout. It's like on the handle here is ribbed. And, you know, it's got some little knobs here at the end, so not a bad piece. I will say this though, it's not the sturdiest of construction materials. And while we're on that subject, this is ridiculous that a sword would bend like that, whether it's a real sword or not. And again, like the blade of this looks like it's made out of the same materials, rocks and spikes and bones and stuff, as the tip of the spear. And I have to say, it does have some nice molded details in there. It does look, it's a really cool looking piece. And then like the pommel here is split like it's a piece of bone, and then it's wrapped here, and then the handguard with its little decoration in there. It also has this post on the back of it, and we'll show where that connects later. And then here we have an extra set of hands, and they're like swimming hands or just open hands. They're on in and out hinges. I think we've seen these before on one of the other Mer-Mans, possibly even both of the other Mer-Man. So molded in the appropriate color, and I would say nice molded details on it. Now let's take a look at the figure itself. Now there's a couple of new parts on here. You know, the armors are new, and I think the forearms are new. The hands aren't new, and of course the head is a new piece. And let's raise the camera up. And I have to say, you know, it's a really nice looking sculpt to the head. And you can see it's got some kind of spray or overlay right here on the head. Just kind of, just a gradual fading away. And it's really nice looking. I really like that. Now for the eyes, it's like eye pieces down in there, and then there's a clear piece over the top of it. And then I think this is all a separate piece. Then you can see he's got, you know, some paint apps here for his teeth, some molded detail on the back of his head, also some of that spray down here as well. So that's nice looking. And then look at all this molded detail here on the back of his armor, which kind of looks like it's more, you know, more aged pieces of the same stuff that made the tip of his spear and the blade of his sword. Now this looks new. It looks like gills on the back here. That's, I don't believe we've seen that before. So this upper chest piece looks like it's a new piece as well. The abdomen piece, probably not. But let's look at the armor piece. It's separate from the belt, so that's cool. Got this nice paint app right in here and right here. And then on this part too, and that's just me assuming that it's molded in this color. It could be exactly the opposite, or it could be molded in this color. I don't know. Yeah, it may be, because look at the straps, and this strap has some kind of hose on it, and then this side does not. So I'm not sure what Mer-Man would need a hose for. I don't know. So then, like, the upper arm here looks like, you know, we've seen this before. I don't think any of that's new. I do believe this is new, because look at this fin, and then that gradual toning down overlay or overspray, whatever that type of paint app is called, and it's really, really cool looking. So then we get down to his trunks or crotch protector, whatever you want to call it, his crotch armor. So then we've got a lot of nice molded detail in there for his belt, and that detail does go all the way around. And you know, a lot of nice molded detail in the armor here too. And I'm not sure what these rings hanging down are supposed to be, but there they are. Sinkers, maybe. That sounds right. Now, from the hips down, probably all of the leg is reuse from somewhere. I know we've seen these feet before, probably on previous Mer-Mans, a Skeletor or two. But I do believe these shin armors are new, and they're very sea looking. Got some spikes here on the side, some nice molded details throughout, and then on the front, you know, it kind of looks like a flipper in the detail, or maybe it's, oh, I hear it's like an evil seahorse. At least that's the way it looks to me. And then that's pretty much it. Let's take a look at his articulation, but let's look at those eyes again. I mean, that's pretty cool looking. And he can look up that high, which is to say none. He can look down that far, and the head is on a dumbbell joint like most of the Masterverse figures. So he's got a little bit of chicken neck, and he's got some waggle. He can do the full exorcist at the shoulder. The arm will do a 360-degree rotation. The armor here does get in the way just a bit. So 360 degrees of rotation there. He can lift his arm up that high, which is about 90 degrees. Cut at the upper bicep for a full 360-degree rotation. Double hinged, pinless elbow, and it gives you that much bend. 360 degrees of rotation at the wrist. Ooh, there's some detents in there. And then in and out hinge as well there. There's a cut covered up by this strap of armor and this strap for the armor. But like most of the Masterverse figures, there's a cut there where the chest and the torso meet, and that gives him some hula. He can lean left, he can lean right, and he can lean back that far, and he can lean forward that far if you don't mind bending the armor a little bit. And then, you know, there's some rotation there as well. They don't always like to go a full 360 degrees, but actually that one does it quite easily. So then there's a straight cut at the waist, and that gives you another 360 degree rotation. And then at the hips, it does have pull down hinge, so that's good to see that most of these guys going forward are getting that pull down hinge, because it really does help with articulation and range of motion. So he can give you that much of the splits, which is to say the full splits, pretty much. And he can kick forward that far. He can kick back that far. It's a cut here at the extreme top of the thigh. Gives you a 360 degree rotation there. Double hinged pinless knee gives you that much bend. So pretty standard for Masterverse. Then there is a boot cut here in the shin. It does give you another 360 degrees worth of rotation, and then at the ankle tilts down that far, tilts up that far, and a little bit of rocker. So not bad. Now as far as storage goes, the only weapon he can store is his sword, and this port right here goes with this peg right here, and there you have it. Mer-Man's non-sheath for carrying his sword. And then as far as the spear goes, he just has to put that in his hand, or you have to put it in his hand. He has to hold it in his hand. And so there he holds his spear. And, you know, the hands, you pull them off, put the other ones on if you want him to have swimming hands. If not, just leave the ones that come on him out of the box. And there you have it, my friends. There's a look at the figure and his accessories. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have the Masters of the Universe, Masterverse, New Eternia, Mer-Man. With the Masters of the Universe, Masterverse, Masters of the Universe, Revelation, Mer-Man 1, and the Masters of the Universe, Masterverse, Masters of the Universe, Revelation, Mer-Man 2, or Flashback Mer-Man. For our last set of comparisons, here we have the Masters of the Universe, Masterverse, New Eternia, Mer-Man, with from the Marvel Legends series making his cameo appearance, Stan the Man Lee from G.I. Joe Classified series, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander from Star Wars The Black series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper, and for a 7-inch scale comparison from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final thoughts on the Masters of the Universe, Masterverse, New Eternia, Mer-Man, I have to say, the sculpt and the paint on this is fantastic. This is probably one of the best looking Mer-Mans to well, at least to come out of Hasbro. So there is that. And I especially love the paint on you know, the fading and the, I don't know exactly what it is, but you know, right there on the head fins and like on the arm, the forearms there, really, really fantastic looking. And I would say one of the greatest things about looking at this figure are the eyes, where, you know, he's got like, you know, the eyes are in on the head, and then they've like got these clear domes or whatever on top of them, so you know, it gives it that really that fish eye look, like, you know, he should have, because you know, he's an underwater dweller, so he should kind of have that fishy eye thing. And you know, I see a lot of new sculpt going on in here, and at least that's what I see. Now, I may be mistaken, like the upper torso may not be new, the forms may not be new, but there's still, regardless, there's still a lot of new stuff going on with this figure. Now, the less than positive features of this, the material that they chose to make the sword out of is super soft. It's not going to hold its shape over time. It's going to bend, it's going to warp, and that is a real shame, because it's a fantastic looking weapon. And even the spear, but the spear to a lesser extent, because that material is only used, you know, at the point of the spear, so maybe less so. But even though, you know, it's less of it, it's still made out of that same material, so there may be sagging and drooping over time, as there was with a lot of things. But you know, as far as he goes right now, it's really, really a great figure. If you're a Masterverse fan, if you're a new Eternia fan, and if you like He-Man, you're not a new Eternia fan, why wouldn't you be? But this is, it's really great. I think, again, this is the best Mer-Man, or the best looking Mer-Man that Mattel has ever produced. And that's my opinion. Your mileage, of course, may vary. But that does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I'm now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page, or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content, or just help the channel grow, or both. That's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.